Okay, 6 o'clock, I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'll take a roll call. Stacy?
Here.
Andrew?
Here.
Gail?
Here.
Beth? Oh, I'm here. Pat?
Here.
Doug?
Yeah.
And Alan.
Yep.
Okay, approval of public comments on the agenda. Do we have any?
Approval. What do you mean?
It should have not,
You should just say comments on.
comments of,
public-
on
yeah,
public,
approval.
agenda, sorry.
Oh, are there any public comments?
Yeah, and then we have to make approval, right? For that or no?
We approved the agenda after
Okay.
people's had a chance to make comments.
I really messed up on this one.
That's all right.
Okay, approval of agenda,
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda.
hang on one
With
second.
the correction
Okay.
of, number 6. It should be special meeting minutes instead of special meeting agenda.
Okay. I'm also, number 7, Kelsey is not coming from the library. Stacy and I met with her earlier, so Stacy and I are going to try to, give you our perspective on that.
Sounds great.
Other than that, Pat made the motion. Am I correct?
Stacy will second.
What's that?
Stacy will second.
Alan seconded
Oh,
it.
sorry, Alan.
All in
sorry.
favor?
I'm sure.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, approval of the minutes from February 20th. We had, I believe, 2 corrections we needed to make. One was awaken, it's spelled an E-N, and it should be O-N. And the other one was, a motion was made to give Karen Decker permission to order the new parking fee envelopes. It's also the parking passes. She was gonna order the, if you wanted a yearly pass.
Okay.
And those are my only 2.
I had one too, but I can't remember what it was. A motion to approve.
I think there's some on the next page.
That's fine.
Is it over here?
I don't know. I emailed them before. That's
The
fine.
ones you emailed,
You did already?
yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. Okay, so do we have anybody that would make a motion to accept them now with those 2 corrections?
Stacy will make a motion to accept the minutes from,
I'll second. Gail?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Stacy, you wanna take over the library billing system?
sure.
Were we gonna do the bills?
Oh, did I miss? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Approval of bills, I sent you all the PDF. I added 2 this evening. Everybody has taken a look at them. Anybody make a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
So Alan, Pat, Alan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So this is. Okay. Okay, all right, now we'll go down to number 7. I gotta start marking these off. Okay, the billing system. I've been working, Kelsey helped me figure it out. I just don't like when we pay the bills, we never see or hear that they got paid, they got checked. So,
You're fine.
Kelsey they use this. Have you seen that, Doug? Where we write, and then they write the check number that they paid the bill, so we can kind of keep track a little bit better. And then she set Stacy up with a spreadsheet.
Let's
so she can just plop the figures
Perfect.
in.
Want me
Yeah.
to, here. Let's. Oh, goodness. So, did you see?
Yeah, so we can keep track. which is-
Right, and
Yeah,
it'll
because
just-
sometimes you get the bill over again.
Right,
and
I
then-
will put in the bill, what it's, who it's from, what it's for, how much it is, and then it'll just add it all up, then, the date of bill approval will be the date of our meeting, so we can just keep track of everything.
Okay, so you do that after we approve the bills, and then we
Correct.
know that we have a record of it.
Correct.
And then
Yes.
you'll have the check number that actually paid the bill.
Well, that will go on this,
And
on the
this-
white copy of those, there's 3,
A white copy
Excuse
goes
me.
to us, the yellow copy goes to, I think she said Karen, and the
sorry?
pink copy goes to Chris, maybe?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to have
Once I
our
get
own
it, yes,
printed
once we
up.
get it back,
Yeah,
can
and
put it
I
in there,
looked up to
yes.
see how much that would cost. And, it was $83.47.
For how many?
250. If we're interested,
Of those?
of
Yes.
these.
Okay.
And,
If we're interested in doing this, we'd have to make a motion.
and Kelsey said the box that she got, this is her 4th year, and she's still on that same box of using them, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea because we don't directly pay the bills. So
Correct.
it's hard for us to keep track of which ones have been paid and which
Correct.
haven't. So I like this because now we know that when a repeat bill comes through, that we can look and say, we already paid that. And I think that that works. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Question on it, when you were saying that after you put them into your spreadsheet on your computer, it tallies them, is that going to take them from the individual GLs or just the overall budget?
When you say the GL, are you talking that number?
Yes.
We don't know the numbers. If you can sit with us, we can try to help figure out the numbers. But,
Your numbers are right here.
no, I understand that, but
Yeah.
I don't know what, okay, when
Well,
you,
when I give them to you, the GL number is on that
usually
page.
on it, okay.
I put it on every bill before I sign it.
Okay, all right, then yes, we will try to do the GL lines and all that.
Yeah, that would be great, because then you're doing an accounting of their accounting
Right, and we're just, of our money.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, it's just kind of a check and
So,
balance. I like it.
yep, no, that's a great system.
Okay, so
I make a motion.
first we need to make a
Oh.
motion to implement this billing system. Then we need to make a motion that you guys give me the okay to purchase these for $84 and some odd cents. Or can we make it all in one motion?
I think you can make it all in one.
Okay, somebody wanna make the motion?
I'll make a
I got a
motion.
question first.
Yes,
Will the board packet include a copy of that spreadsheet?
yes.
Okay,
Yes, you probably will not get the PDFs anymore. We're going to put it on the spreadsheet, the bills. So I will still make a PDF for all the bills at all times, so we have the copies.
So
Right.
instead of getting each single bill, we'll just get this that says this with this, 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 and this.
Yes, that's what I'm
Yep.
hoping.
I think that works. That works for me.
But this first, we're gonna do it both ways to make sure, that we're doing this correctly. So, all right, go ahead, make your motion, Gail.
I make a motion that we put this system into place and purchase the proper paperwork that we need to do so.
Anybody second? So Gail made the motion. Alan second. All in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Okay. All right, Doug.
I did not go any further with the basketball poles or the scoreboards. There was a couple of things that were brought up in conversations, one with Trudy and I, about I think we need to look into and see, we have Elmer's right here in town doing the sewer stuff. Let's have them come out and look at our basketball court and give us their opinion
Okay,
and maybe see if they might be interested in doing a community service project or something
okay,
along those lines, so. And the scoreboards, we can do that at any time, but I did contact Sheboygan this morning,
uh-huh.
and we have until January
January to use that
to use that
grant.
10,000 up.
Okay.
So I think maybe at this point, it would be in our best interest just to pull back and.
Okay, as long as
wait
we
and
have a
see,
date.
You know what I mean? We now, and that isn't a hard date. He said they were hoping they could wrap it up
Okay,
this calendar year.
okay,
So, but it's not going anywhere. There isn't a set date, so
okay.
I
Because
think,
that was one of your questions, right, Stacy, about the grant?
Yes,
Okay.
sorry,
So did he answer you?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We talked a little bit last month, or the special meeting, about the implementing something down at the boat ramp to do either a ticket or visa. Does anybody want to take that on and look into it? What we can do, or, you know, can we have, is it cheaper to have somebody man the post versus getting the,
From my recollection, the reason the previous board did not go with the QR codes was the cost of the software and the operation of it.
Do we know how much that was?
I do not recall, I don't think they ever gave an actual
they never
number.
did, and that's why I want us to follow up on this.
What do we have in that,
That's not on there.
okay, what do we have in that
In the
account?
boat launch,
Yeah, for the boat launch.
I don't know off the top of my head.
That's for maintenance though, is this,
you could use it toward,
you could
that
do
would be an improvement. It has
Is
to be
that-
for improving or maintaining
Okay,
that area. It can only be
And that's the
spent
only
in
thing we
that
can
area.
use it for, so.
The boat launch is
Mm-hmm.
correct.
We can't go outside of there, but that would be, I think we generate more revenue
oh,
if we had it. People would be much more apt to swipe it. And it can't be that expensive for that software. It just doesn't seem like it because the Girl Scouts can scan your card and get money out of it. You can, as a private person, you can set it up on your phone to scan your card and get it put into your account.
I think it was like 17,000.
That's what I was thinking, it was
But
something like that.
I mean, even at that, it's, to me, money well spent.
Well, right now, you're not really, money and cash, people aren't carrying around as much. Even when I go up there to put in my boat when it gets too shallow, you gotta make sure you have the cash. Well, a lot of people coming in that maybe have not gone there before, maybe don't bring their cash, and then they don't pay it. And then we're not collecting those things.
Right.
So I don't know what the best situation is. When it's a busy time of the year, have someone sitting there on the weekends? I don't know, but it seems like we're not capturing everything we need to, and if there's something that people can do by QR code on their phone and, or pay it by their credit card, it seems like it'd be just like when you're parking in Petoskey in a lot or something, or you're parking,
yeah, what's that called?
Park Mobile.
Park Mobile.
so, you know, it's just a thought.
What would there be anything we would have to implement down there though, so that it's, like, what is it gonna work off of?
Well, we would
What is
have
it
to
called?
print out a sign with the QR code on it.
Right, but I can tell you that sometimes those QR codes don't work on phones. I've had issues before trying to scan QR codes on my phone, and I have an iPhone, so sometimes those are iffy. I was talking like if you're talking a credit card machine kind of thing, how does that
Or
work?
the credit card machine is gonna be a lot more than a QR code, I can
Right.
tell you that right now.
If you've ever parked in Petoskey downtown, you can use it on their streets. Park Mobile is an app. Yeah, you have one too.
Yeah,
And-
not for Petoskey, for DC.
Well,
but,
and you
yeah.
just put in wherever you are, but I think there is and so you put in in Petoskey, they have meters on their streets and also in their parking lots.
The parking lots have, yeah.
And so you would put in, I'm in, the number of the lot you're in and the amount of time, and it gives me a reminder 10 minutes before so I don't get a ticket. Now, I think they have they might have a municipal for business solutions for parking providers. It's worth sending an email to, or even to check with, say, some other launches or marinas. Like, I don't know what Sheboygan does. They may have an attendant because they have bathrooms and showers and that kind of thing. It's more of a marina versus just a launch. But it might be worth calling, say, Elk Rapids, St. Ignace, some areas where it's just the launch and they don't have facilities for boat parking. So, might be worth calling some area, smaller towns around your city, Alpena, Elk Rapids.
Do you, is this the one where you have to put in your plate number and everything?
Yes.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
and you can use a credit card or you can use
It's just a
cash.
figure
Right.
right there.
I think Petoskey lets you use either,
Okay.
so.
Well, and you don't have to necessarily just scan the QR code. You can put in I'm in lot number, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
There's not
Okay.
the
So
figure
it's
down
not
there?
just.
I just know sometimes.
There's not the
those
figure at the
QR
bottom?
codes don't-
No,
Usually you have
the money
to,
that
if
is
they're not
in the
capturing, you're too
reserve is
close,
much
and you have
more
to
than
kind of
that.
move up or back.
I think
depending
that's
on where
just
you're at.
showing the
Sometimes
money
it's
they
hard to
took
get
in
it.
that year.
Sometimes if the internet's not good. it
Well, that's
might
what,
not.
if your internet, if your service is sketchy,
Yeah.
it's not gonna
Have a
work.
vague idea of how much money.
But I mean, people just don't carry cash anymore.
No, because it
Yeah,
was never
I always do for,
anything that I really,
plus because I don't like
dealt
when I
with.
go
It
to a
was-
restaurant and they charge me.
I can remember one time, it was up
I know, I make sure I
around
do.
Yeah.
60,000,
yeah, it was
How
just,
much?
60 to 70,000.
Oh, I never saw it that high, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
For what?
Yeah, it's,
For
it
the
was getting close to.
Credit card one?
Yeah, no, the boat
Well,
launch.
the boat launch
How much?
reserve fee. But don't quote me on that, that's
About
just
60,
from
you
one
said?
meeting
I-
where
yeah.
Sally Snyder mentioned it.
We need to look into that.
Just be one thing.
So is somebody
Is
someone,
anybody interested in, taking that on?
I will take that on and have some information for our next board meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you, Pat.
wonderful.
Okay,
Do we
But-
need a motion or anything, or just let me go
not for
loose?
information, I
Yeah,
don't think so.
okay.
I think we're good. Okay, the DNR grant that we're
The bane of my existence.
really trying to work hard on to get is, I've reached out to two, well, Doug reached out to one and I reached out to one of the prefabricated bathrooms.
precast concrete.
The first one came in at $158,000. And I just got one from today that, the previous board got an estimate, and they're at, $80,000. So that's a little more doable. And then I've reached out to.
Without fixtures, right?
Well, we have to go through that
Yeah.
line by line. I reached out to some builders, and we have two builders that are definitely interested in bidding it out for us. And one is Tad Lehman and Matt Smith. Here's their contact information. So if Doug, if you can reach out to them, if anybody wants to look at this one. The 158, we've already scratched it, we can't.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more than happy to reach out to them, and I've been making calls this week and doing stuff on this. Beth, you and I had talked, and you talked about using the footprint from the $150,000 one,
Yeah.
and you said that you thought that was a little bit large for space.
Well,
I would-
that one had 2 bathrooms in it.
Correct,
On
Okay,
each side.
the one that we just got
right,
only has 1 bathroom in each stalls,
right.
in each rooms.
I took the measurements from that other one, 11 by 26, and it comes out to 286 square feet is what that podcast was. Our restrooms down here at the chamber that we do are 24, or 22 by 22.
Okay.
That's 484 square feet. Now, that, to me, is very adequate, but what I would like to see really is that we go to a standard 2-car garage size, if we're gonna do post frame or frame construction, either one. There's packages already done, so that alleviates a lot of the problems for the contractor themselves, they're just buy a package. But the other is, we could add in storage in the backside of that.
Uh-huh.
This down here, I have no place to keep my mops, my paper products, things
Didn't
like
this
that.
bathroom have a middle storage section, the
The smaller-
$80,000 one?
Yes, that one did. But, I mean, from the size down there, that's very usable. 2 stalls in there is great. And the other thing, if you went with the 24 by 24, that adds the option, if ever it was decided that you had outgrown that and you needed more room, or say you wanted to add shower stalls in there, I mean, there's just.
I know, but
you
we have
the
to really
option to
look and see
expand.
where our budget is.
Well-
And if we can pay only a certain amount to match what we're, if we get the DNR grant, we can't go much over 100,000 for the whole project.
Well, if
Or
we,
to 120, or excuse me, not 100, 150,000.
150,000, we have to come up with, $37,500 to match that figure.
So that puts you at, if I'm correct, that would put you at $187,000, under
Right.
150.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
Yeah.
So add
Yeah.
that in, I mean, so, but I'm thinking that when you start to get to the post frame stuff and you look, and if, in fact, I haven't looked at that newer one that came in, but if that doesn't include your fixtures,
I don't know.
that's gonna blow this other one away.
Well, this says vents, washroom components. 1 stainless steel wall-mounted toilet.
Okay.
Wall-mounted
What does that-
sink, grab bar, another grab bar, toilet paper holder, paper towel holder, soap dispenser, mirror, hook, sanitary disposal, waste disposal, shelf window, glass block window, no vent.
Okay.
That's what it says. Now, I don't know, I'll assume that comes together, but what we need to do, what we also need to talk about is this DNR grant. Because in order to get this DNR grant, we need to try and get points. And the more points you get, the better chance you're gonna get awarded that grant. And the more points you get, the less your match is. So the problem is, and we had talked to Nico, who is the grant writer, and when we were talking, he wants us to, in order to get 5 to 10 points, we need to use recycled materials. 50% of whatever that number, that thing is, we use 3 of them. So if we say, okay, we're gonna do recycled on the building, 50% of that has to be recycled. Otherwise, we can't use that as one of these things that we're using as recycled. We can use trash cans. We can use flower pots or whatever, if we want to put those by the wall where the wall fell, see if we could put, but it has to be reused or recycled type things in order to get 5 to 10 points. And 5 to 10 points on this grant is a big deal. So the problem is when you do that, then you got to pay more money. So trash cans are $500 to $700 a piece. You're, looking at those things. If we were going to go ahead and talk about reconstructing it with a construction person instead of buying prefab, which I think could be a great thing, if we could, if we're going to do the inside with new walls or whatever, it should be out of maybe a sustainable or recycled material so that we can get these points on the DNR grant. Because at the end of the day, if we don't get the grant, this project's not going anywhere.
Right. We can get recycled shingles, we can get recycled siding, we can get,
That's what I mean. So if we
Recycle
can
it,
get
I-
it built, it might be a better idea than going prefab.
oh yes, and I'm.
'Cause the
now more
prefab's
that I
probably
get into
not
this, That's where I
recycled.
was leaning to. But I really think that we should shoot for larger size rather than smaller size, because when you're adding, the cost that you're adding is not that much at this point.
Well,
as
if you
to
can
down-
get costs for both, that'd be great.
Right, I mean, we can do that, we can have a bit of. both,
Because then we
but-
can see really how much the
Right.
difference is and if it's worth it and if we can foot the bill for that. Because the problem is at the end of the day, we've got to foot a match.
Right,
Do we
and
have the space down there to do bigger and not take away from
Well,
parking? Because
actually,
parking is
you-
limited as it is.
this is gonna sound strange, but by building a bit larger and adding your storage in to that one building, you're gonna gain storage. Because our
Oh, you're gonna
storage
get rid of
building
that
down
shed.
there can go.
Gotcha.
You mean we're
Right.
gonna gain parking?
So you're not going to
We're
go
gonna gain
over.
parking,
No,
Well,
we're-
now, we have a problem with that as well, because we need to have 3 spaces that are disabled or
Handicap.
handicapped in order to get points for this DNR, so we're gonna have to add 1. And they're gonna have to be on the side of the bathrooms, not
How
on the
many
other side.
handicap spots are
2.
there now?
4.
there's two.
Oh, 2.
4.
Oh, there are 4?
Yes, I went down.
So
there
we
and
just
checked.
need to move them to the other
Yeah,
side.
that's,
Well, and I talked to Nico about that, and he said you just have to have it.
Trudy, you gotta talk louder, I can't
I'm
hear you.
sorry. I did talk to Nico after the Zoom and said, you know, there are some things that are already down there, like the double entry on the existing vault
Right.
toilets and the wide enough walkways and such. And I said, we do have handicap ADA accessible parking spaces in there when you directly, and he said, we just have to make that known on the drawing.
But they're not near the bathrooms.
He didn't think it was as big a deal, as.
Oh, no, when I talked to him, I thought he
When we
did.
talked to them, they said it had to be by the project, because it's involved in the project.
I get that, but what's
Yeah.
by? Is that 10 feet, 20 feet from me to you?
Well, I don't see why
Well,
we
if it's on
wouldn't,
the other side, then you've gotta go all the way through the parking lot
I
to
don't
get
see
there.
why
So
we
I don't
wouldn't
know.
at
It's
least
close to
move
just
one
moving
over
them
there.
out.
One
Yeah.
or, one or
Close to
two
where the
over and
bathrooms
keep
are
2
now.
where
I mean,
they're
there's
at.
no reason why you
Simple as
can't
painting wider lines.
do them there and then just erase the ones that are there. It's not a big deal to
That's
just
a-
move them.
That's
Just
a
to make sure
total
we're
effect.
in the, where we need to be.
And then you had mentioned rain gardens, that is so simple and doable that a rain garden is a weed patch that the parking lot or your eaves run into. Basically, you go down to the beach or the
Right.
green dock, those big tall weeds and stuff right there at the end,
Yeah.
that is a rain garden.
Well, and they also said, I even thought that, where that wall, we have to rebuild it. Maybe if we did a long recycled planter there and then planted, you'd be stopping the sand from coming up. You'd be filling out one of the situations that we need for this grant. We're trying to figure out a way to fill
Yeah,
these
well.
things without spending thousands and thousands of dollars. Otherwise, we're using our grant money to get the grant.
If you go to planters, you've just increased your maintenance cost immensely.
And I don't
Someone's gonna
think,
have to be down there watering those and picking them up every day.
Well,
and
okay.
I don't think the planters would stop the sand.
No, they wouldn't.
Do we
just
have
put it
any
around
other
them.
suggestions? And if we do, that's fine, but we need other suggestions then.
What we're
That
probably
don't
gonna
cost
end
a
up having
ton-
to do with those at this point is we're just gonna have to start doing it little by little, section by section.
We can't do that because we have to have it all written down and turned in by
No,
April
he's-
1st.
he's
This
talking
is the
about-
wall.
He's
This
talking
is
about the
the
wall.
wall.
not
Oh,
the
I'm
You need to
talking
take the
about-
wall right away
I know,
from
but
the
what I'm
bathrooms.
talking about is the DNR thing has to be done this month. All the situations we're talking about, all the money, all the things for the recycled things. We need 3 things that are 50% recycled material that we're putting in there. It all has to be figured out by the time Nico turns this in on April 1. That's all I'm saying. So we gotta figure that out. 'Cause I mean, if anybody has ideas, that's great. I mean, we were just throwing them out when we were talking in the webinar, but we've got to get those figured out. We can't just wait and think, well, we're going to do it later. We got to figure out something. Whether it be a waste basket and a recycled, we can do those. Those are two things we can do. You know, the rain garden, that's fine too. But we just have to figure out what we're going to put on that DNR application, is my point. Whatever it may be.
I agree.
And I mean, he went through pretty specifically when we were on it, Beth and I were on it, and Trudy, about what he needs from us to make that DNR application better than it was before when it was denied. And this is the last chance to get it. I mean, I don't know that you can keep trying for this grant if we've already done it once.
I don't know that there's a limit.
I don't either, but
No, but by the time we need it,
in hearing all this, and after going through these things before,
mhm.
and it sounds to me like we're dead on track for the next grant cycle.
Well, I think they were
You're
on,
not talking this grant
No, we
cycle.
ain't getting, I don't even forget about April 1st deadline.
Okay.
We will be, our pants are gonna be halfway up by the time that comes. We're not prepared.
the
Trying
problem
to get
is,
numbers in for all these different things to go through them. Let's sit back, we now know what we're doing. We were all trying to figure this out. We've got a good idea of what we're doing. Let's use a year.
So you
we
want,
have a year.
no, wait a minute, Gil. What
Next
he's
grant
saying is
cycle.
pull the grant
I
right
get
now.
that, but what I'm saying is that grant money, if we get it now, we don't even get it possibly until December or January of 2026, which means if we go ahead and put it in for the next cycle, we won't get it until 2027.
That is true.
Maybe that's what it has to be. Because
When do we have to have the
if we
bathrooms?
rush out, we do this.
I agree,
When do they have to
but
do
if we
that?
don't have to hook up, then fine, but if we have to hook up,
We
then.
can't hook up if we don't have a bathroom.
I mean, I'm totally in agreement. I wish we could wait on this because it is a rush.
And we can, I am sure
What,
that we can get, as long as we are in the process of this happening, that they're not gonna say, you're SOL. I mean, we're working on it. They're not gonna cut us off.
Who's they?
Right, we're our own,
Who,
right, the ordinance says that within 1 year
Oh.
we have to hook up.
of an existing building, we don't have an existing building to hook up to.
Or when,
Or once our building's up, we have a year.
Right.
So we have,
so if it's not done, you're gonna put porta potties down there or whatever, and you're gonna work on fundraising for a year or two, or investigate.
I'm all for that. I
I
just thought that this was
prefer to have
something we
some
had
money
to
in our
do.
pocket
There- you
before
don't
we
have to
start.
write a grant.
Oh, I'm.
No,
yes.
hook up.
You have to, after the building, if you build a new build, you
That was
have,
what I
once
said.
it's,
I agree. That's what I said a long time ago. And then everybody said, no, you have to hook up within a year after the septic thing is all up and running.
if your building was going to be, if you had a septic system down there, you do not, you have a vault.
I agree.
So if you were to rehab that and make it, had water and it was ready to be converted and you had all of your fixtures there and the sewer was there, you would have a year from that.
Right.
In the meantime, you'd still have to provide toilets,
Well, there's some down there.
not, forget it.
No, I don't, well,
No,
please,
explain.
because I don't
Don't say forget it.
understand.
So if you have, and this is just me thinking outside the box, you have a building down there. If that could be cleaned out, which it would have to be anyways, even if it's demolished, and it was filled with sand, a cement cap put on it, and then toilets put in, and made ready to hook up to the sewer system, and it was done by September 1st of this year. Say it was feasible. I don't even know that it's feasible. Then you would have a year from September 1st. So you come in and you go, great building, can't do that, can't clean it out, can't fill it with sand and put a new cement pad down over the top to enclose that, what was the vault. We have to take it down, and we have to build new. So it takes you 2 years to fundraise and get your plans and whatever you need to do. You build a new building, that gets ready to go by September 1st of 2027. Because in the meantime, you're fundraising and writing grants and talking to benefactors, and it's September 1st of 2027, then you have a year from that date. So we don't have an existing building per se, like a house where I am on a septic.
I agree, that's what I said at the beginning, but I was told differently.
Well, and we've gone
Okay,
back
so
and
we've
reread
clarified,
the ordinance.
we don't have to put, we cannot hook up to a sewer system
Until we have a building
until we
with
have a
sewer.
building, and we have a year after we get the building.
Once the building's ready to.
So
to
then
be
we
hooked
don't
up.
have to hurry through this.
No.
Because that was our understanding, was that we had to do it within a year of the septic
That's what I
thing
thought,
being
but,
put up.
So we've all gone back and reread the ordinance.
Okay,
and have it
Okay.
all right, well, that helps,
But,
that
so
helps.
it gives you time. I mean,
Yes.
we still have to have something down there.
But the health department said we can leave what we have there. He has no problem with that.
well,
I'd have him.
the last time he checked it, he had no problem.
Right.
And he said, technically, it's up to the township to tell us when we have to hook up. And again, we can't hook up to something that doesn't exist.
Right, right.
And we have to put a well in.
Well, we have a lot of,
Yeah, you
I
have
mean,
a
we
big
have a
list.
list
Yeah,
of
yep,
things we
yep.
have to do, and Doug, I agree with you, let's not scratch it.
No, I'm
But
gonna
let's-
keep going right from where I'm
Yeah,
at.
but I mean,
don't-
even all those other things to get it ready for that, we can't do unless we have the money, which we don't have. So
Well, some of it,
that will have to be
we can,
figured out
right,
going
but we
forward.
can at least get some fundings, and we can see where we're at. I don't wanna build, and this is where I'm struggling, and
We're overwhelmed. We're the two doing this, and it's
No.
a lot of work, and we're overwhelmed, and we're getting told from different places different things. So we are just trying to figure it out, little by little, and we
what I'm
would rather
struggling
wait.
with the most is,
Yeah.
if I went to build a house, and I call a contractor, and he comes out, and he says it's gonna be X amount of dollars, oh, I gotta win the lottery before I can build this house, and that's what I feel we're trying to do, is win a
Right.
lottery to build this,
Exactly.
and I don't think we're ready.
I don't think so either.
Okay,
And-
so
What do you think, Stacy?
I just need clarification, because I'm confused. Okay, the bathrooms that are there now, if the health department came down and looked at them and said it was okay for us to still use them, we can use them still until we can figure out to build a new build to hook up to the sewer system?
I-
Or would we need to not use them anymore and
No,
have
no.
porta potties down there?
I would defer
No,
to
'cause
the health
essentially that's
department on
what it
that and to the township board.
Okay,
I would say if you are doing your due diligence and you're trying, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot, it's a lot to take in. You know, we have to have something down there that's
Correct.
not leaching into the waterway.
Yes.
If we can be assured from the health department, that it's not, if it looks like it's leaching, then I would say we might have to close them and do something different,
okay.
okay? So, but I think if you're doing, my opinion is,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm one person, if you're working towards an end result, I think the board is reasonable and would say, okay, what is your time frame? You know, you're wanting to develop a budget, you're wanting to get your estimates from a stick built to a kit built to something else. What is your thought process on a time frame? It's at least a year. So again, I think it's fair to ask that. I can't speak for the board,
Right.
but I think if you have an outline and a timeline, and come to the board, not next week, but.
Right,
say,
because we won't have
what
that
is your-
information.
what is a policy on, because this bathroom doesn't really fit either description in the ordinance if you go out and read it. You know, it's not hooked to a septic and it's
Okay.
not a new build. So what is it really?
Right.
You
Well,
know?
does
We
the
would
health
have to get all our
department,
information together, come to a township board meeting and ask
And just
there,
say,
what
yeah.
are
And
our options, what
yeah.
can we do?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because, and I think, you know, and I'll, you know, we can talk to the board members and say, hey, how do you read this?
Right.
Because we've got this bathroom that they're working towards doing something different, but they have a lot of steps.
Right,
And they're expensive steps.
okay,
I think it's fair to, at some point, come to the board and say, can we have a conversation about this?
okay, makes sense.
does the health department look at the bathrooms every year?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they monitor us. Our beach water gets tested.
So if it's fine
Just
last
like
year, it
you-
should
you
be
see
fine
the
going
E. coli
forward as
thing
long as
pop
we
up?
can. Yeah.
When this beach is closed for E. coli, every health department goes around and they test the water in the
Right.
swim
Okay.
areas of their district.
Okay.
Right.
And if there is a problem, then they will notify
So they do
township
that
board,
anyway.
myself, cause I discussed this with Kyle at one point. How does that work? He said, well, if it ever comes up, you'll get notified right
Right.
away. And these are my packets for water samples for all the different things.
Right.
And if, as long as it's non-detectable, I
Okay.
hear nothing back from them.
I do believe that if this grant would have gone through the first time, then the timeline would have been really good. The timeline would have given us a lot more time to get it done and get it to where it needed to be this year. I just don't think that the timeline for us to try and get all this stuff done on April 1 is gonna be able to be attainable. I just don't think it's gonna be.
I'm with you, I mean,
All right, so do we need to make a motion that we withdraw our DNR help from Nico for right now? So we're not being, I don't want him to send us a bill for him to be working on this, and we're like, we're not gonna make the deadline. You know, we wanna, this is a process we're going to shoot for next year.
Or we,
And same with the engineer, I talked to him again, and he said if we use the exact same drawings we had, it would be a very minimal cost. He said, but if we're gonna change the drawings, that means his whole thing's gonna change. So there's gonna be costs with the engineer too.
and I mean, I think Nico will work with us, you know, even if we're working, I'm sure we could talk to him and
Oh,
work
he'll-
with
he'll
things through the year,
advise us.
setting things up.
Yeah.
So, and we would use him to rewrite the grant anyway, next year probably, so. That's the way I see it, 'cause
So do we wanna make a motion to do that, or? Anybody?
So you're talking, make a motion that we will, excuse me, work on getting this DNR grant for the bathrooms for the next round, next year, but we
April
could be,
2026.
so we'd have to have it submitted by then, but we could be working on it, all of this.
Oh, yeah, definitely be working on
So
it.
I make a motion that we not worry about the grant for, the DNR grant for this year and submit it for April 1st of 2026 run of grants. So we have more time to get our ducks in a row and get everything figured out and what we need.
I second that. Gail?
Stacy and Gail, okay.
And within that motion, am I to notify Nico that we're going to hold off till 2026?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry, I missed that.
that's fine.
And
I just-
everybody else involved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. All right, so,
So if we do work on this and we do have some, I put in that grant for Awaken. Now I know it's not gonna be a huge amount, but it could work for we could use it to pay for, the maps and all that going forward too and stuff, depending on how soon we have to use that. Cause I applied for the fact that we would be using it for the bathrooms.
right,
So
well,
I'm sure that can be changed, I'm sure
I
they'll
mean,
be
we can still
flexible,
use
but
it, I mean, we could still buy the pots for the
Yeah.
bathroom or whatever, you know, we can do something.
trash can, whatever we need
And
to do.
just,
Okay.
you can't,
pay for your drawings.
huh?
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
meant, we could pay for the drawings and stuff, and still maybe give Nico a down payment or something for what we're doing too. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't have any idea, all
Okay.
right.
All right,
Okey-dokey. All
thanks,
right,
thanks Trudy.
updates on repairs of the stairs and sidewalks to the public besides the Indian River Bridge. Doug?
I, myself, have talked with them, I know Trudy's had conversations with people from in between. When they get to that point of doing their new sidewalks in front of their building and stuff like that, they're going to remove ours and repair it. So everybody's in agreement on that now. I mean,
Oh, they are in agreement?
there is no,
Because originally they wanted to repair it, didn't they?
it was thrown out there at
At one
first,
point.
and the previous board member that was involved with that kind of ran to the extreme and got things done. They realized the same thing, that the cheapest, simplest way for them, rather than to bring in this concrete lifting stuff, is just to rip that out and pour it. They got concrete trucks there, it's not that long a
Right.
sidewalk.
They're doing it all anyways.
They're just gonna fix it when they do theirs.
Perfect,
Everything will be good,
wonderful.
but we do have it documented that if they do not follow through with it at that point, then something could happen, but at this, I think it's a non-factor. It's gonna be fixed when they
Very
fix
good.
their building.
Hopefully that'll be before the summer,
He hopes to be open,
okay.
running into red
Because the
tape
boats
and-
are all there and people are wanting to use it, so.
Well, and he's running into red tape, as you can imagine.
Oh, I'm sure.
And, you know, contractors and,
Okay,
Okay, the next update is the T-shirts for Doug and his crews. I talked to Screen Printing down on 68, and they can do T-shirts for $15 for small to extra large, and then additional $2 for XX large, and additional $4 for XXXX large. And if we want the logo on the back, it would be additional $2 per shirt. Or we can just do the pocket insignia on there. And the polo shirts were $22. So I calculated 5 polo shirts at $110 and 30 T-shirts at $450, because you have 3 guys, right?
Summertime, I'll have 4.
You have 4? Okay, then we need to up that part maybe a little
You
bit.
probably should also throw in at least one extra just in case.
Okay,
Just in case someone gets mad and quits and takes his stuff and goes and Doug gets
oh,
a
you
new
mean
person.
one total set?
one set,
Okay,
One extra set.
all right,
as,
so the total right now is $560.
we can always reorder those though.
Yeah,
Yeah, once,
I mean, they're local, I mean, we can order them anytime,
Um,
we're not getting a bulk price, are we?
no, I don't, well, yeah, because I went on Vistaprint just to compare, and Vistaprint total came to $572, and this guy is $560. If we
Yeah.
do those, are we still interested in purchasing T-shirts for the employees to wear?
Have you had them before? Or you,
No.
no?
I think we need something,
I
so
think it's-
if they're
so
out
you know who
working,
they
people
are.
know if they have a question, they can go up to
Especially
them
if
and
you're-
ask them.
Yeah, especially if you're going up and talking to someone about what they're doing, it might be
Correct.
better to be more,
Yeah.
seen as to who you are.
This
I
is the
agree.
logo that I had picked, if somebody wants something different, and underneath, just put Tuscarora Parks, unless somebody wants something else. Stacy,
I like that.
and that's just a picture from the, thing out there.
I thought the one that out there had the moon on it too, or the sun, there was a rounded shape in it, but, yeah, that's, I mean, I
This
think
is, isn't this,
whatever our PDF that we have for our logo that we went to for signage and everything, we should just stick with that.
Yep.
well, that's, I took
I
that
agree.
picture
Sounds
of the
good.
sign, and he would just be using the yellow and the green, they wouldn't, and then the green shirt.
Yep.
So, if we wanna go through with this, we need to make a motion.
I make a motion that we order shirts, Stacy.
Gail seconds.
Oh, I also called the one in Petoskey, but I never heard back from them.
we have a motion and a second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Just to keep you in the loop, I'm gonna send Big Bear, I asked the township if we could have an email, but they said we can't have one. So I'm just gonna use my parks email to, and I think I'm just gonna have them send me weekly of when they use it, because you said you didn't need to be notified daily. So weekly, and that way we can just keep track of how often they use it. And this may be a 1-year thing, and after this, we can say we're good, kind of thing. So that's that. I also received a phone call, somebody's looking to purchase a brick. I informed her at this time we are not doing bricks.
But before we move on, let's stay with the
Oh,
Big Bear in Northeast,
okay.
because I thought we had mentioned at an earlier meeting that if they were gonna have a large group coming in, that Doug should know ahead of time.
Okay, I can request, if large group, please notify us ASAP.
Yes.
Cause I think they only had one large group last year. Okay, I'll put that within the,
Okay.
when I send them the email.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Beth to contact Big Bear Adventures and Northeast Outdoors to keep her advised of how often they use the park and prior notice on big groups coming in.
I'll second.
Stacy,
Stacy, sorry, Pat.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Now the brick.
Okay, I received a phone call asking about the bricks. And, I told her at this time we were not taking any orders. I then, again, reached out to, Tom Moran at
Moran Ironworks.
what's that?
Moran Iron Works.
Yeah. And they got me in contact with this Tamara Ward, who is from the trade school. And she called me today. She needs the size of, and I know you talked about doing the tiles.
Ceramic tiles or something.
Yeah, and I'm more leaning towards the bricks just to keep it the
Would the
same.
brick still go in the ground then?
No, that stand, remember that stand?
Well, yeah,
Um,
I know. The reason I'm asking is the brick is, how thick is a brick?
2.5 inches thick.
2.5 inches versus maybe a third of an inch or a quarter of an inch thick for the tile, which would give you the same look as a brick, but it wouldn't give you the weight.
But I
and it
don't-
wouldn't give you the depth.
I think we would have to have more of a, when you look at the stand. There would have to be more of a fabrication of the stand than what we show right now to keep the.
Would the trade school, would they be doing this then
The
for
trade school would do it, but we would have to obviously pay for all the,
materials, and they would do
materials.
it for,
but they would do it for, minimum.
gotcha.
Trying to find her
I
email.
might be able to use the Awaken loan for that too.
Oh, I lied. They do have, I didn't think they had all these sleds.
Yeah.
Um,
See, the ceramic, or I'm saying ceramic, actually, the marble tiles I'm thinking of are about the size of the iPhone. You can incorporate a photograph, anything, it's all laser engraved on the marble. And it would fit on that
Well,
with just adhesive to hold them in place. But
we,
you're looking at a depth of like that versus like that. and the weight of that versus the other.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if they take this on, they wouldn't, they would do it 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide. And it would not get started until like September, October, kind of thing. But I guess we need to decide, do we want to stick with the bricks or do we want to look into the tiles?
The last time I looked at those marble laser engraved tiles, this was 4 years ago, they were $25 a piece.
Do we know how much the bricks are?
The bricks right now, we're running, do you recall, Trudy?
I think that the bricks were 50 and 100, I believe, is that right? 50 for the normal size, and then if you
After
go
they
for
were
the-
engraved,
Yes, I'm assuming.
what
yeah.
we charged them? Was that
Well,
what
no,
we
that was
charged for that, or
our
was it
cost
just to
to have
buy
them
it?
done.
Oh, okay, that's what I was wondering.
Individuals bought it, and if
Okay,
you just
so
got a
50 and
single
100.
brick, I wanna think, and I hope my memory's not failing me, but I thought they were 50, and if you got the bigger one, it was 100.
I believe you're
sounds
correct, but we need to.
So was that the cost of the brick, or
No, that was
was
the
that?
engraving and everything.
That was but that's what the purchaser bought.
Okay.
I
That's
got
what
one
I'm
for my
saying, was it what the
husband.
purchaser
I-
bought, or was it what we paid for it? Or
That's
did
what
we
we
put
paid.
any
That's
added
what
onto
we
it or
paid.
not, or did we just, whatever it
I
cost
believe
us is what it
she's
cost the
saying
other
is Our
person?
cost per brick.
Say it again.
For the
Ben.
engraved brick, the cost for an engraved brick, small size, $50.
Right.
Big size, $100.
Right.
Okay. Now,
And we
I
just
haven't had
charged-
time to do this yet, because
But
things get
can I,
moved.
just
Yep.
before you go further, I'm saying, is that our cost?
That
Yes.
is our cost.
That's all I was asking.
And
So
that
we
was
basically,
The
they-
buyer's cost also then.
So we made no.
We
money.
didn't
so we
make
made
money
no
off it.
money on it, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I
Did
don't
we
know what we were
charge
charging out.
more
No,
than what
nobody
it cost us?
Nobody knows.
That's
When
what
this
you paid
first-
if you bought a brick was, because I bought one for my mom. yeah.
Right, so I don't know
It was
what the cost
$50.
was.
Nobody
When
knows.
we first started the Veterans Pier brick program, the price for the brick gave a fairly decent profit margin for us, but the cost of doing the bricks has gone up past what we were charging.
That's all I wanted to know.
All right,
Okay.
now, I
Alright.
was planning on getting a hold of the guy at the shrine before surgery, but surgery got moved up, things went quick. The Catholic Shrine has brought their own brick engraver.
Oh,
They are now engraving bricks. So before we make too many decisions on this, I'll get a hold of him as soon as I get my phone back and I can call him.
Well, I
I'll
have his
get with
number
him,
too, so.
And I'm gonna check with him. I wanna see if we need to purchase our bricks through him. Because if we don't have to purchase them through him, if we can hire him to do engraving,
right,
I'm sure we can get a real good deal on a pallet of bricks.
mhm.
I know we can get them at minimal at factory cost.
So my question is when we do this, do we use this as a moneymaker or not? Because obviously we need money for these bathrooms. Is that a moneymaker, is it a not, has it been a moneymaker, has it not been a money? That's all I'm asking.
Wait,
It used to be a moneymaker and then we lost money, is what Pat said, right?
correct. The replacements have eaten up everything
That we
and
need.
more.
Okay,
So by getting them up off of the ground and getting, I think that is a good way of protecting them.
mhm.
And I would even.
I like the idea.
I would even consider if we're gonna go up on these stands like that, have a plexiglass feature that we could slide down for another layer of protection over the surface of the brick.
Well, I do know that Sheboygan County Community Foundation has a grant as well. Deadlines are February, May, August, and November. The reason why I've not put in for this is because it really, they will not pay for a bathroom or put money towards a bathroom, but they will apply it to landscaping, anything like history, signage, veterans. stuff like that, this money could go to. Like, I think they gave money to Christmas at Indian River for fire pits, for a glass bottom boat, for a tiki boat, for tourism and people coming in. So I think I could get money or try and put in for this one if we can figure out that project. And the good thing is you can do it 4 times a year. So just letting you know that, I think this could apply to it pretty well.
Yeah, and I think, back to those bricks, I think they could again be a moneymaker if we can figure out a way to make them
More
last.
reasonable and
So,
last,
so
yeah.
that we're not. the
But I don't think we
replacement
can
cost is-
guarantee that ever, because they're still bricks.
Once they're up on a stand
I
and
think
they
if they're
have
up
a,
on the stand, we're gonna have a better chance.
and you have a
than-
cover over it, if we can get a plexiglass slide to go over that,
Yeah,
so it's clear you can see them, but no one can get,
yeah.
All right, so I have a question.
the rain
When-
doesn't get them, the wind doesn't get them.
When the Moran is making, the school is making this, so you want a slit to
Yep,
slide
just a
down or
Channel that we can
a
slide a
channel? Okay.
piece of plexiglass in, because
Because it will have to be
we're gonna
changed
have
through
to
the
have a thing
years
that we
too.
can open up to be
Yeah.
able to take the bricks out to replace the bricks.
Yeah,
So what's the difference if we have a plexiglass slide in there? And if that plexiglass piece gets scratched or damaged,
well, it'll over
we
there,
buy a
yeah.
new one and slide it in there.
And it's a lot cheaper than buying 100 new bricks.
Correct.
Exactly, exactly.
Correct. I mean, but once we figure that out, people do want these bricks. There's constant people
Yeah.
wanting to do that. It is a source of revenue.
And I think that would be good towards the bathroom. It's something we could do
Right.
fairly soon, and
So you're gonna look into the guy at Cross in the Woods when you're up
Yep.
to it? I mean, this isn't, obviously, I told the lady I'd get back with her once we started working on it, and I think I have 2 names now.
and then we need costs for the whole project, so then I can put in for it for this grant maybe. Okay,
Pat, would you wanna look, well, let's decide, do we wanna stay with the bricks, or do we want
I
to?
think we need to look at both.
both, I
Okay.
agree.
And
Will
get
you-
Cost.
That was
cost.
through
Will
the-
you get the tile?
I will get the cost of the tile in this meeting. I can bring in a sample.
Okay,
And I also think I'm gonna go up to Sheboygan County to the Veterans Center up there and ask them if they got money for projects like this.
That would be great, yeah,
Okay.
that would be wonderful.
all right, and then, Doug, you're gonna look into the engraving person?
Yep, see if we have to get our bricks through them, what it would cost through them.
Okay.
If they will just engrave what they're looking at per,
Okay.
engraving. And then if they'll let us get our own bricks, I will contact North Star Stone Soldiers. He has renamed his business, but,
Oh.
and see if he would be willing to give them to us at cost, which
Okay.
I'm quite sure that.
All right, so
Sounds great.
that's on a plan then.
Okay.
Okay, number 15, did you, Pat or Doug, did you guys get to that webinar or seminar?
Snow kept me from going.
Okay, Doug, you
No,
did?
I did not.
Okay, so there's nothing there. Okay, new business, the division of responsibility between the parks and the township for Doug, his crew. And I believe that's what this.
That's what those
This
forms are.
piece of paper is for, so we can start, other departments can start paying for Doug's. Stacy, do you wanna see one? Pat, or,
Yeah.
This was Dawn and I, we worked together on this, we came up with it when she was the clerk. And we were doing it kind of on a test basis, just to see how things were gonna go. And then board changes and it got squashed totally.
Did it work? I mean, do you
It-
felt like it was a good,
It was a good way to do it
Benchmark.
because there was no way of tracking it before. at one point, to my understanding, at one point in time, it was that the crew worked at the park Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and in town Tuesday and Thursday was the agreement. Well, that doesn't work. It's just, you can't divide it that way. This way, if it were done like this and using a spreadsheet similar to the one that you had just showed for your other, I don't think it would be a bad way for me to be able to track where I had crews each individual day. There's a lot of steps that will need to be gone back through to get it billable that way because of policy changes, the way they did it. But if we implement it at the beginning of, say, next year, get that going, we track it, we're gonna have a better idea at the next budget year what's what. Who does what. I mean, when this was all taken off of the table and it was said that parks were responsible for all maintenance, that was our responsibility to take care of everything. Their parks budget did increase. I don't know if it increased by the amounts that were given up by all of the other departments that were supposed to be coming back to me. I can't say that because I didn't track it, I had no way, I mean,
Yeah.
but if I had to make a guess, I would say no, that Parks is bearing the burden for everything, and I have always tried to make a point of mentioning whenever Parks' budget was attacked, that Parks is not Parks.
No, we have.
Parks is township maintenance.
Township, right.
So, at one point I had it counted up, and I can't remember, it was 15 or 17 properties
that you
that
were
my guys
maintaining.
take care of,
Yeah, that's a lot.
okay?
Well, if you just look at it this way, that truck that was bought mainly with parks money is used as much for township maintenance as it is for parks. But yet the township didn't pay for the truck.
But it's still in one, it's all one
It
situation.
isn't one lump sum
No, but it's
bank, but
the
it's,
township and the parks, yes, I
But the
see
money
what you
came
mean,
totally out
yes.
of
but
the
it came
parks
out of our
budget,
budget and
it
that cleaned
left
us
us
out.
with no
Right.
money for.
Cause we would
No,
have
I
money
agree,
to
yeah.
be going forward with this bathroom.
Right,
It all
if
comes
they
out
had-
of the same kitty, that's it,
Yeah.
it's
They
all
s-
comes
they
from the
do,
same
right.
place.
Right.
But I
But
do
then we-
believe we need to have a way to track, to know what our different properties are costing us. What our cemeteries actually cost us to run.
yeah, no, I agree,
What
because,
the airport actually costs to run. I mean,
so do you believe that, so is, I guess when I'm looking at this, it says name, but would you put airport next to it? So we would know like,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just township, but also parts under
but what
it.
I
Yeah.
was doing with
Each
those,
one.
I mean, it was.
Like the cemetery.
Yeah.
I would have one of the, at the end of the 2 weeks, when I turned in time cards, I would have one that would say airport at the top. And it would say
What you did there.
Drew, because he was working here, then $22.50 an hour was his rate, X number of hours.
Gotcha,
And then cemetery, I had 4 guys there, X number of hours, the rate of pay for each guy. So we were tracking the
Right.
expense of each different thing, and that's what I would do, the spreadsheet type thing. I just think putting it on a computer is gonna make it simpler and easier to track than a pile of papers that somebody's gotta go back
Well,
and.
yeah.
That all may be true, Doug, but you're just talking man hours, right?
Yes,
What about wear and tear on equipment, fuel, all that,
right,
right, and you're absolutely correct.
right, because
Uh,
we pay
but-
for all of the
look
fuel.
at the sidewalks all winter long.
Yeah, there you go, that's, I mean.
Well, within the spreadsheet, can't we list all that stuff and he can fill that in
That's
or no?
more on Doug.
We can, when this is,
One way to look at it would be, once we know on the division of township versus park, take that percentage ratio and apply it to fuel costs.
We can
Yeah,
do a
you could do that
percentage, yeah.
percentage
I can
wise, yeah.
track the fuel, to which one goes where, I mean, roughly. I can't do it with the
That's what I
truck,
mean.
but I can, like the snow blower, if we put 5 gallons of diesel fuel in every time that it goes out, I can track how much fuel goes in that. And as you're saying, it's more on me, and not to, I'm looking for more of these type of things now.
Yeah, we're not, I don't think we're really looking to nickel and dime. as
No,
much
I
as
think
just
we're
to
looking
get
for
a
an
general idea of-
approximation of a
General
percentage.
idea, yeah.
Correct.
Right,
So
Right.
then it's not all coming out of our budget, that way we have money in our budget for things that we need to do, instead of having to pay for everything
right.
Yes.
out of our budget.
And it kind of lets the whole township know. I mean, it's just a really good tracking thing
Right.
for this situation, because you do a lot in a lot of different places. So it is a kind of, even just if we do it just for a year, or every 5 years when we, do it, or we do it consistently, if that's, it's easy enough to do it consistently, then that's fine too, but.
It's gonna help in the end at budgeting time, because
Correct.
I'm gonna have a
I think
better
so.
idea of what it takes me to do things. I'll
Right.
know better.
It will make
lots
it
of-
easier to justify your budget.
Absolutely,
There you
And-
go.
absolutely.
Yep, and, I mean, I'm not looking for it to be spot on,
No.
perfect
No,
every
not to the
time.
penny.
We're just getting the ball rolling, so that when people look at your budget, the township budget, on the web, and they pull it up, the second highest thing out there is parks. That's the second highest line item. So you get dinged for a lot of things, you know what I mean? Well, what are you doing with all your money? Well, what are we
Right.
doing with? Because people see parks and they think two things: DeVoe Beach and Co-op Park.
Right.
And you're lucky if they think about DeVoe Beach. Most people go straight to Co-op.
And they don't even think of Marine Park.
Right.
Or the
And,
docks.
or Hideaway Park,
Correct.
or, the
Green
Green
Dots.
Dot,
Other ones, yeah.
There's Hideaway.
the Red Barn Project. I mean, there's just so many different, this would be just a way for us to track it, split it a little bit, where I can track it better, we know better what it costs to actually take care of stuff. I mean, this building, there's a lot of maintenance goes on here.
Right.
I mean, just in the bathrooms, I mean, we can separate those out, so we
Oh,
know
great.
what it's costing us to run a bathroom. At this point, we really don't know, I mean, what it costs to run the bathrooms.
So, but you're saying we can't
So we
implement
can
it?
remove them.
Our budget ends in July, am I correct?
Right. I
So-
just think the crispest, cleanest way to do this would be, we'll play around, I mean, I'm gonna figure it
Well, I
out,
was gonna
but,
say
but implement it at the beginning of a budget
fiscal
year.
year.
Yeah.
Because then we can, it makes just a better tracking, we're starting at ground zero and working away from there.
But we could start it, say, next month, just for your,
Yeah, start playing with it, start
Yes,
trying to get
just-
things, so I get the bugs worked out, so there's, yeah,
yeah. So,
Yep.
Okay,
Sounds
most
great.
definitely.
Sounds
all
great.
right.
I mean, dry runs are always good.
Yeah.
I'll help you work on that
Okay.
if you'd like. So,
Do we need to make a motion?
no, because
Nope.
this is just going to be
Just business.
experiment.
Okay.
When we need to make the motion is when we're gonna implement within the budget,
I
Okay.
Right.
agree with that.
Alrighty.
okay? Are there any public comments?
Yeah,
Yes.
just, I know you don't answer questions, but these are just my comments, and so you can just know that I'm thinking about it. With the bricks project, is it like we're starting over, and everyone that had bricks are going to get new bricks, and
Yes.
and then will we pay for
Oh,
our
no.
own bricks
This-
again?
We're gonna have to absorb the cost of replacing the bricks that have been.
I don't know about that. We're
Doug,
No,
gonna have
I
to
mean-
discuss that.
That
Well-
has been discussed in the past,
That would
and it was
I-
agreed to by the previous park commission that
No.
we are obligated, because when they bought those bricks, they were guaranteed they would be there forever.
Correct.
Well, that shouldn't have been
Well,
happened
I-
because they're never gonna be there
I
forever,
just think
no
you
matter
should
what we
give
do.
people a choice. And it might be a way that they would like to give back to their community or something, because it is a very popular thing. A lot of people just kinda like being able to walk down to the park and, hey, Dad, and walk, you know? I mean, it's very sentimental, but, you know, a lot of people really like the idea of that. And you might not get a lot of pushback. Now, some people might say, oh, I paid for that and it's for life and I'm not giving you a dime. And other people say, no, I'll be glad to give some more money to this project for the brick for my dad, or my, you know, my soldier, or whoever it might be. So I think that I wouldn't be so rigid that, unless that's gonna cause problems. But
Well-
I'm just saying, keep it, and if it has to be rigid, I understand things have to be rigid sometimes, but I think that you might be surprised, quite frankly.
I think Jang and I together, we have 7 or 8 bricks down there. I would not be opposed to paying more money to get them replaced.
Nor would I. I
But
had
there are
one.
some people who can't afford to do
Well,
that.
that's what I said, can.
So what do they
we
do
keep
at the
it-
church?
Can we keep it flexible? Can we say, would be appreciated if you would be willing to, you know, donate again for the brick for your veteran? But if you can't, that's understandable. And so instead of it all being, oh, no, they were bought for life and we're not gonna charge anybody, so.
It was a
I don't
learning
think-
process.
It was.
No one took into account the sand going across
And
there.
there were two different, quality of bricks there. Not
Yes.
all the bricks were like, I mean, there were bricks there that were there way before I bought the one that I bought. But mine was gone within a very short period of time.
And bricks are not guaranteed for life, they wear.
Well, that's
They waiver.
going back is why I'm in favor of going with the laser engraved marble. Because you look at DC with the Veterans Memorial, you look at all the cemeteries with marble headstones and stuff, those things last
Oh,
forever.
you're talking about like the Vietnam Memorial with all the.
Yeah,
names on it,
laser
yeah,
engraved.
yeah.
And we're looking at, the size of an iPhone, and it's roughly half the cost of
Well,
a
some
brick.
people want big ones. Some people
Or
want.
then it's double the
know.
cost.
But that's only if we offer it.
Well, and then
Well, and that
also,
was another question I had, are there gonna be two sizes like there were before? I think that you just offered 2 sizes before, right? The one brick or the
Right.
double. And, and I thought that was another question, are you gonna do that again, offer 2 sizes or just 1 size? Some people like to write a book, some people just like to say.
Just need a name.
Well, again, I think we
Name,
need to
year,
revisit,
name, war, you know,
revisit
name US
what
Navy,
it
World
is.
War II, that was it, you know, but.
If
but
we
other
were to
people-
go with the bricks, some of the bricks down there are fine.
So,
We could reuse them.
But how
Okay,
many
c-
bricks are down there
Well,
currently?
I
there-
have-
there's a good question, because
you can't read all of them. I have
there's
typed
some that
all
are
of
so,
them.
who knows who it was? I mean, and over the years of these replacements being done, I found where people had, there was 2 identical bricks in multiple situations.
That they said that they were gone, so they
They
redid the
replaced
bricks.
them, but they were there.
And then they were there, they found them.
Or,
And
like
we
Beth
do
went all
not-
the way down to pick bricks up in Central Lake and bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
And when she got them back, they were 3 bricks that they had already done previously and I had replaced.
Yeah, so,
So
and,
the
and
brick
as-
thing is kind of a mess. I
It,
mean,
it's,
Yeah.
it's a big mess. I did get them all in a computer. But to go down and match them all up, there are some missing. So we're not going to be able to match
Kristen,
every,
she did
There's been charcoal etchings done of them, but some of them were so
I
far
have-
gone that didn't even,
Oh, okay, too far gone. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, so I mean, and that's where I come in with the problem. Okay, are we going to live, so is the plan, going to lift the bricks that are good, put them in a stand, and then just replace the areas with nothing on the bricks. Or if we leave the bricks the way they are, then to me,
Again, that becomes a project we can't pay for.
that I would not, if I paid for a brick, even though I lost my brick, I think I would still want my brick to be there. You know, so we have,
Maybe lots of questions.
See, it is a
Yeah.
question, because if I bought a brick and put it there, I wouldn't expect it to last forever. And if I wanted to do another one, I would pay for another one.
yeah, so.
Realistically, there's no way those bricks are gonna last
There's
forever.
a
They're
lot of
on,
options on
Yeah.
how it can go.
so
And
it's gonna have to
I think
be.
the first thing to decide is the bricks, if, who's gonna do them, the size of the bricks, so we can then have the frames made that the bricks are gonna go in
Right.
and fit.
Right.
And then put the notice out there, and I think with this laser engraving that they have now, if people can also have a photo of the person engraved in it, is gonna get people willing to spend the money to get it done.
Because to me, there's no way you can lift those bricks out of there.
I agree,
That is
because
so
then
much money,
if
you're
you
ruining
did,
the pier that we spent
what would
money
you
on.
replace the bricks with?
So that's the problem.
So,
We have,
now,
there's lots of those bricks around. Okay, we have bricks for that stacked down at the Red Barn, I have them stacked at the beach, I have
You
some
mean
stacked.
to take the good ones out?
That we could take them out and replace
Like-
them.
I
and
know,
it would
but
still
just doing that in itself, you need cement, it's cost, it's
No,
labor,
no, no,
it's
no.
all
I
that.
don't
You
think
need
they
two
cemented them.
screwdrivers and a rubber mallet in about 5 minutes.
Take them all out?
No, not
Well,
all.
I mean, I could, when bricks come in to replace them, I can take 4 bricks down there and I'm out of there in 10 minutes. And
Okay, I
it's
guess I
back,
have
you
to go
don't
look
even,
at it, because I thought it was all on the bottom where you walk.
it is. I take 2 screwdrivers, I pick that brick up, I put the other brick right back in where it was. I smack it back down, I put a little bit
And
of
that brick's
piece in
never
it.
gonna break after it's been there as long as it's been there.
No.
no,
I don't
All
know.
right, so I mean, this is just a start,
Yep, we're gonna have
Yep,
to look
lots of
back-
into it.
questions.
to start for the,
Well, I'd say before we even talk to the trade school about anything, we
We
need to
figure
figure
out
out how
what
much
size
those
brick-
things are first.
I will,
Well-
I will email her tomorrow and say, we're in the process of revamping
Yeah.
and deciding the
size.
size.
And, but like I said, she said that she would like to definitely do it and sometime like August, no, September, October. October. So we have, but I don't wanna say we have a lot of time, because when we do that, we kinda sit on things. So I want to keep
No,
this
but I
rolling.
mean, yeah,
Well,
if
need
we
to
get
looking at it
numbers,
And figure it out.
Yeah.
soon.
Vicky, did you have anything else?
No, I was just, those were just throw out things there, that I didn't mean to, talk.
No,
no, I
no,
mean,
no,
it is a
valid
Throw out
discussion.
things,
We
how
appreciate
we
it.
gonna go about it, I was just curious.
Good questions, though. Definitely.
For
Did I
the
hear you
list,
correctly that you do have a list of people who have purchased bricks in the past?
I do have, yes.
Do you believe that to be a complete list, or do I?
No,
need to
I
start
cannot,
digging?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
I'll do a little digging. see what I
well,
can-
and if we,
I don't know.
I went, Mr. Kramer gave me,
Uh-huh.
and I put them all in
Chris did the.
the
charcoal.
computer.
Oh, she did the charcoal.
I haven't looked at it, I just haven't
I
had
just,
time.
if you need me to look for something, a file.
I-
folder, I'll look,
I think
but-
I have everything that Bob
Yep.
has given me. I do wanna measure the brick, well, no, we can wait on it, never mind.
Okay.
But as far as I know, I have all the things. But even doing those, typing away, it's like, God, I put this in here 4 times.
Oh.
So, as you said, Doug, and eventually I stopped putting them all in. I mean, but then maybe somebody did, maybe Vicky bought the brick, and then I wanted to buy one for Vicky's dad, and then you wanted to buy one for Vicky's dad.
Right?
I don't know.
the list that you have, is it the name of the person on the brick or the person who purchased the brick?
I did both.
if we have the name of the person who purchased a brick, it might be something, cause like she made the point, they might wanna repay for a brick.
Yes, and
We
I,
could send out a survey to them.
We could send
maybe,
out a survey,
and
that's a good
Figure out
idea.
how
If-
many people would
how
want
we-
us to repay for it.
how are we
or-
gonna get the, emails? I mean,
Yeah.
I do have some phone numbers.
We might be able.
I do
well, we
have
can
phone
talk-
numbers
we
for
might be able
some
to
of
help
them,
with
but
that to some of-
are they valid?
Most
I don't
people
know.
fill out a white sheet.
Right, you had to fill out
There's
your
a sheet
information.
somewhere
Right.
That, what they wanted.
Some of
or
them
was
had
on the
emails,
And the
maybe.
name, yes, you had to put all that
So, you
information.
know,
I think you had to put your name. and
We
your
can put
information.
notices on the township website, Tuscarora Talks Back, on
Yeah.
Indian River Flows. We can get the word out.
Correct.
Tell us
Well,
what you
and
think.
I definitely on the township website. The only thing I'm concerned about putting it on Facebook is people who didn't purchase a brick.
Well,
saying
then
they-
that's, you're gonna
yeah.
have,
saying that they
Yeah,
did.
you're right.
Well, no, but like just filling out the form because they saw it
Or
come
giving
up,
their information,
just
what they
giving-
think, yeah.
giving what
yeah,
they
we gotta
think
be
should
careful
be-
with that, otherwise.
That,
we're
that
gonna-
would just be saying that the bricks are being redone
Right.
and
If you
you
purchase a
purchase-
this is what the
book,
new
could you
bricks are
please
gonna look like.
contact us?
It's,
And if we don't have an order
Right.
form, then, or they can't come up with a order form or a cancel check or something,
Right.
I mean,
We're probably not gonna be able to.
No, they're not gonna
That
have
was a
that,
long
no,
time ago.
never. Yeah, that, they're not gonna have that.
well, I'm,
I don't still have mine.
When I purchase anything, it,
no, I know, but
Yeah,
I'm just
after a
saying,
while.
we can't just let everybody line up and say, well, I
Right.
bought a brick, but,
Correct.
cause then we're gonna really be, I'm just,
the other thing I would suggest, and I'll be honest, I was really upset over the way it was done. Because when the brick project first started, I proposed and drew up an XY grid. So you could look X, Y, this person's brick is at this location.
Oh, that would have
and
been.
that's,
That would resolve the duplication, but Jim Pirtle,
Oh, yeah, you can go some,
he,
there's some.
I went down there one day and he was the third done. So it was something that was uncontrollable at that time.
too far, yeah. Yeah,
But
that would have
if we
been,
redo it,
that
that
would-
way you can have a directory. My
Yes.
brick's missing. Well, your brick is located here. Are you sure it's missing?
just like when you go to a cemetery.
Correct.
Exactly, that's what it definitely
when you
needs
go to
to
any
be.
war memorial or anything like that.
Okay. Any other public comments?
I just wanna throw one thing out there. I contacted Pat kinda last minute, but to see if Travel Ball had contacted him. They have not
Okay.
reached out at all. I went ahead and just shot a text out to one of the coaches, hey, kind of a heads up that we haven't heard anything yet. He said, well, I'm not in charge of this, Toby is, and Toby told me he talked to you. And I told Toby that this is your board contact, it's above my head. Just thought I'd reach out, and I heard nothing back, so.
Then I say we don't reach out
At this point, I'm done
anymore.
pursuing
Well, we can't
anything to
chase
do with it.
someone, yeah.
No.
If, and if they,
Well, I agree with Gail. His neglect does not create our emergency.
No, exactly.
I mean, if he comes to us in June, that doesn't work,
It-
unless it does, and it could
Yeah,
work.
we'll
But
try
we
to make
can't
it
keep
work,
chasing
but-
people down for what ifs, I
Right.
mean.
Okay.
I mean, it'd be great if they could use them when we're not busy on those days or whatever, and if it comes to that, if he comes in and we can do it, then fine, but if we can't at that point, then we can't. I mean, we'd love to do it if we have open, open fields and stuff like that, and it works, but usually that
Yeah, we're not
requires
gonna
planning,
bend over
so.
backwards at
yeah.
this point.
He'll come to us if he wants them.
All right, any board comments?
Doug
Alan?
stole mine.
Doug stole yours?
Alan?
No, I'm good.
Pat?
No,
I-
Doug stole mine.
Okay, I have one. I'd like to congratulate Andrew and
Yeah.
his mock trial for winning.
Wonderful.
And also, they have moved on in their robotics, and congratulations on that.
Yes.
And when you hurry up and get all your stuff done, so you can do more for me. Just kidding.
Great job.
Just a note to that, that's the first time Inland Lakes has won first for
Yes.
robotics.
That's awesome. Very, very cool.
Great.
That's wonderful.
I think that's all I
You gotta
have.
give it a
Gail, you have anything?
nothing, honey.
Stacy?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. Gail will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Budget, not fixed ones, but I don't think
I gotta go see President Trump.